Please welcome the Executive Vice President of Clarion Events, Eric Schlett.
Good morning. Please be seated. On behalf of Clarion Events and the entire FDIC International team, it's my absolute honor to welcome you to FDIC International 2025, the world's largest gathering of firefighters and emergency service professionals. You are the heart and soul of this event, and your presence here today reflects the unwavering dedication and courage that defines the fire service. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to recognize some key partners who have joined us. Please join me in welcoming the leadership from ISFSI. Please stand for the folks that I'm calling out. ISFSI leadership team. The Fools International. Women in Fire. The North American Fire Training Directors, members of our military branches, and of course the international delegations from around the world. If you've come here from far away, please do stand up and be recognized. We appreciate you. Above all, your leadership and commitment to the fire service continue to inspire us all, and we thank you for all of your support. FDIC is more than just a conference. It's a tradition. It's a brotherhood. It's a sisterhood, a beacon of fire training excellence for the fire service. This week, you'll experience over 200 hands-on training evolutions, classes and workshops led by the most respected instructors in the world. Our classrooms are filled with cutting-edge tactics and strategies, while our exhibit halls showcase the latest innovation in firefighter equipment and technology. But more than that, FDIC is about connections. It's about reuniting with old friends, forging new bonds, and sharing knowledge that will shape the future of this profession. Here, you're going to be inspired, challenged, and reminded why you answer the call to serve every day. As we embark on this week, let's remember that the knowledge we gain, the skills we sharpen, and the camaraderie we share here at FDIC will ripple through our departments and communities, making a real difference where it matters most. So to each of you, whether you're a first-time attendee or a seasoned veteran, thank you for being here, thank you for your dedication, and thank you for making FDIC International the greatest firefighter training event in the world. Welcome to FDIC 2025. Let me get started by introducing your MC, Chief David Rhodes.
Just a few weeks ago, we lost our dear friend, Bill Gustin. Bill was deep in the heart and soul of fire engineering and FDIC. He was the example of a lifelong learner. You'd often find him in the front row taking notes. As one of fire engineering's technical editors, he reviewed hundreds of articles, worked with authors, mentored them, and never forgot anything that we ever published. He loved teaching, sharing, and holding court.
I'm wondering why you're not all in a bar right now. I'm totally mystified. We did not collaborate or rehearse. In fact, I don't even like these guys. So, well, boss, can I spill my guts? I said this in one of the Hump Day Hangouts. You know, women, they buy shoes that don't fit them, that are not comfortable, and they don't need. Men, buy tools that they are never going to need. Now, raise your hand if you guys have seen the little K-12 saw with the DeWalt battery. It's an electric-powered, battery-powered K-12 saw. That's what it looks like. I have absolutely no use, but I got to have one, man. I have got to have one of those things. I'll tell you what's eating at me. I'm sick and tired of almost every day seeing that another police officer or firefighter has been slaughtered on the side of a road, and it doesn't have to be an expressway. It's out of control. It pisses me off. We're sitting here talking.
Yes.
Isn't this like The View? Because I don't know if their view is the same view as me. This will be the last thing, and this is from the heart. I'm looking at a plate right here, and it says, in memory of Alan Brunacini. And for me to be able to have the honor to be able to sit here at his place means the world to me. And I thank you, and I thank God for the opportunity. I'll never forget the sense of pride and thrill and exuberance that I feel when I see my name in fire engineering that has been published for well over 100 years. To all of you, thank you very much, and may God bless us and keep us all safe in our most noble of professions.
Those of us close to Bill will never have the answers to our questions. But we do have the answer to one of the most important ones. What should we do now? Well, Bill told us, and he showed us when he said, never stop being a student of the fire service. Learn something and share something every single day. Thank you, Bill, for all the things you did for the fire service, for all the things you did for us as individuals. God bless your soul, and we dedicate this FDIC to you, our humble old captain. We do a readership survey every year to get a feel for what the fire service members at every level consider to be the big issues facing the fire service, facing fire departments. The firefighters say they need more tactics training. The mid-level managers say they need research information and resources on how to manage people issues. The chief officers and everyone says the big issue is recruitment and retention. How does the greatest job in the world have a problem with recruitment and retention? I was talking to a captain of a large metro department, and he was telling me about one of his new firefighters. At the time, the new firefighter had been on the job about a year. The new firefighter asked him, "Why do you spend your off days teaching classes at other fire departments? Do you make a lot of money doing that or something?" He answered, "I get paid for some of them, but some I do for free. I do it because I enjoy sharing knowledge, and I learn as much from other departments as I do while I'm there." The new firefighter said, "Well, I guess your generation really looks at this more as a career than my generation does." The captain asked, "Well, what do you look at it as?" He said, "I look at this as an experience. I'm only going to do this 4 or 5 years, and then I'm going to go do something else. I want numerous experiences over my working years." "What are you going to do?" the captain asked. "I'm not sure yet," the new firefighter said. "Maybe I'll be an accountant." Captain told me that this young man was an asset. He showed strong interest in learning. He was doing extremely well at the job. He didn't just come for a job like some do, but he was only there for an experience. I talked to another young man on the path to be a firefighter since he was a young kid. It's all he ever wanted to do. He volunteered while in college, but his ultimate goal was to become a career firefighter. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years, so I said, well, where are you going to work? He said, Chief, I really had to rethink this. I'm going into civil engineering. I'm not even sure if I'm going to continue volunteering because all I see is firefighters getting cancer or suffering from PTSD. I don't think I want to go through all that. Departments that used to get hundreds of applications for a handful of positions are now lucky if they get a dozen. What has changed? We can blame it on the new generation being different. We can blame it on the schools for not instilling patriotism and service. It's interesting that public safety and military recruitment have recently suffered some of their lowest numbers. We can psychoanalyze the generations all we want, but the reality is we must look in the mirror. Not all departments are having trouble with recruitment and retention. The difference is in the leadership culture. Departments that focus on firefighter culture over political and social issues are not having a problem. Departments that aren't trying to force firefighters to be something that they're not seem to be doing quite well. What do we expect when the message we put out is that the fire service is killing itself? What do we expect when we lower the standards? What do we expect if we don't hire for character and competence? What do we expect when we look at a department's mission statement and they're just full of corporate buzzwords? Looking in the mirror sucks sometimes. Our decisions have consequences that are sometimes not realized until years down the road. So what do? Things have a way of resetting over time. When we need to change, we've seen the pendulum swing way too far. We saw it with safety and the attempt to remove all risk before we could act. The question we need to answer is, what is our purpose? If we can't figure that out by looking at the mission statement, then we have lost our way. To save lives and property. The mission hasn't changed, but it has creeped, leaked, and in some cases, been asleep. The good news is, it's not a generational problem. It's a leadership and inspiration problem that can be fixed. Let's return to servant leadership. Let serving become the sole purpose of our existence. To serve the public, to serve our members, to make those that we interact with better equipped and inspired to serve. To make a difference, not only as individuals, but as organizations. Our greatest recruiting tool is our own people. If we're creating a culture where our own people are not our biggest advocates, then we're the problem, and we have to change. George Bernard Shaw said, "This is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose. Recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I'm of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it what I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake, Life is no brief candle to me. It's a sort of splendid torch which I've got to hold up for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. Very wise words. Several years ago, a good friend of mine was enrolled in the Executive Fire Officer program at the National Fire Academy. He called me after his first day, and he said he couldn't believe the comments from his classmates. He said that as they went around the room asking why people were there, only a handful said they were there to learn and make themselves better. The rest actually said they were there because they wanted to be the fire chief someday, and they needed the EFO certificate on their resume. In other words, they were there to attain a higher rank, not to equip themselves to better serve. That was 15 years ago, and I'm quite certain many of them are leading departments somewhere right now. Robert Greenleaf, founder of the servant leadership movement, said this: "The servant leader is servant first. It begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve first. Then conscious choice brings one to aspire to lead. That person is sharply different from the one who is leader first, perhaps because of the need to assuage an unusual power drive or to acquire material possessions. The leader first and the servant first are two extreme types. The difference manifests itself in the care taken by the servant first to make sure that other people's highest priority needs are being served. The best test, and very difficult to administer, is, do those served grow as persons? Do they, while being served, become healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, more likely themselves to become servants? And what is the effect on the least privileged in society? Will they benefit or at least not be deprived? You know, there's no real power in leadership positions for those who only serve themselves. The real power lies within the hearts and the minds of firefighters, the medics, the dispatchers, the maintenance techs. The most influential power lies with the fire instructor and the company officer. The leaders, formal and informal, who spend the most time investing in making the members healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, and more likely to become servants. In other words, the ones who can create purpose. The ones who only want to control and only want compliance don't really care about any of them other than using them to fill a spot and making sure that they don't do anything that would get the leader in trouble or cause a perceived liability. On January 28th, 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger broke apart 73 seconds into its flight, killing all 7 crew members aboard. I was in my 3rd week of recruit training. We were all watching it live. Krista McAuliffe was a social studies teacher at Concord High School in New Hampshire. She was selected from 11,000 applicants to the NASA Teacher in Space project. She was about to be the first teacher to reach space. She didn't sign up for the mission because she wanted it to be a stepping stone to becoming principal of the school. She signed up to make a difference in her profession. She knew that not only would her work inspire students to become interested in learning, but it would also inspire teachers to think outside of the box when conducting lessons. The plan was for her to teach 2 lessons from space that would broadcast to schools all over the world. Going to space like going to fires, had risk. But the opportunity to serve outweighed the risk. 1 minute and 13 seconds after launch, the shuttle broke apart. All that time, preparation, and potential wiped out in a single incident. The following night, President Ronald Reagan addressed the country. He noted that space exploration can be dangerous. Sound familiar? But he encouraged people to continue to explore and search for new truths. He also said that the Challenger crew would inspire future astronauts. He concluded with a line that we can all apply to our situation today. The future does not belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave. The shuttle program didn't stop because someone got killed. They didn't stop putting astronauts in spacecraft because it was risky. They learned some very hard lessons. They made changes, but they never abandoned the mission. There are fire department mission statements that are so full of corporate buzzwords that by the time you finish reading them, you don't have a clue what they mean. They were created by a committee or consultants to try and cater to every little progressive issue out there. We have to remember, we are not in the fire service to promote conservative or progressive issues. We are in the fire service to serve the people. These jargoned up mission statements left the rank and file with no idea of what they meant. And there's no way decisions can be made based on accomplishing a mission that no one understands. The job was and still is one of the most rewarding career or associations that a person can be a part of. You get to see the best and the worst of people. You get to step in on someone's worst day and make it better, or at least not let it get worse. The job is exciting. You get to ride around on big red trucks. You're out and about. You're not stuck in the office. The shifts are unpredictable, and every incident presents new problems to overcome, and every day presents the opportunity to serve. You learn skills that transfer to everyday life, how to overcome adversity, how to navigate a world of differences and cultures. You learn that troubles are universal, kids are kids, and most people are doing good and doing the best with what they have. While there are risks, the fire service is not killing itself with reckless tactics, exposures, and mental health crisis. Every occupation has risk factors from exposures and accidents, but not every occupation villainizes their own people in an attempt to sensationalize the rare tragedy and say all injuries and deaths are unacceptable. That message it sends to leaders is to cover their butts. It most often leads to attempting to remove risk instead of managing it. It's created organizations that can't train in realistic environments and can't even attempt rescues. It's turned the word bravery into a word associated with liability. Friends, we don't have a recruitment and retention problem. Not being able to recruit and retain people is a symptom of a problem, but not its root cause. At some point, we have to stop saying, no one is applying. We got to get out of the offices, inspire them and our current members to want to be a part. The only thing that threatens to kill this service is a lack of leadership. Those who look for something to blame for our problems instead of looking in the mirror. The only thing that threatens to kill this service is a lack of leadership. Those who don't understand that all the good far outweighs the bad. The only thing that threatens to kill this service is a lack of leadership. Those who have lost the mission and put themselves and their organizations before the service of the people and society. So if you're having trouble recruiting and retaining people, let me go a little Bobby Halton on you for a second and quote a Greek philosopher. I'll give you the same advice the 4th century Greek statesman and orator Demosthenes gave when the leaders asked him, "Oh, what should we do about the decline of Athens, Greece?" And he gave the most classic answer ever. Don't do what you're doing now. Great leadership does exist today. In fact, it's alive and well and thriving right here in Indianapolis at this conference. This conference is a place for those who still believe the mission is to save lives and property. It's a place where we still believe the serve part of fire service. It's a place where the people who have the greatest opportunity to make a difference in the lives of people in their organization come to learn, to share, and to recharge their batteries to go back home and serve with even more conviction. You, the fire service instructor, the company officer, can do more with your time than just teach a tactic. You can teach purpose and service in every training evolution. You can inspire people to make the fire service a career or a calling and not just a short-term experience. As my friend Brian Brush says, when you put the citizens and the victims first, it all works out. Unfortunately, there will be risk with being that leader. You'll be attacked from all sides. It'll be from a small but loud group. Most will remain quiet, but they'll be watching you and learning from you. I read something years ago that was always helpful to me when I seemed to be out of sorts. It was written by the noted servant leadership proponent and author Kent Keith in 1968, called Anyway, The Paradoxical Commandments, Finding Meaning in a Crazy World. It goes like this. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. If you are successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. The biggest men and women with the biggest ideas can be shot down by the smallest men and women with the smallest minds. Think big anyway. People favor underdogs but only follow top dogs. Fight for a few underdogs anyway. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. Build big anyway. People really need help, but may attack you if you do help them. Help people anyway. Give the world the best you have, and you'll get kicked in the teeth. Give the world the best you have anyway. To quote Bill Gustin, may God bless you and keep you safe in this most noble profession.